Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn about while loop in Java. Loops are very common in programming languages. They basically help you execute a set of statements repeatedly as long as the condition that you have specified stays true. It comes in very handy, and Python has two different types of loops: a while loop, which is what we're going to see now, and then there is a for loop, which we're going to learn next. Let's switch to our editor. I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to save it as while loops.py. And let's say I want to just display numbers 1 to 10. Before we do loops, right, we would do something like print 1, print 2, print 3, and so on and so forth until print 10. It will get the job done, but it is not the most elegant way to do this. And if then you want to display from 1 to 100 or 1 to 1000, you cannot be typing like 1000 print statements. This is just the simplest example of where a loop could be very, very useful. Let's say I want to do the same thing now, right? 1 to 10. Instead of typing 10 print statements, let's see how to do that with a while loop. I'll type something like num equals 1. Type while. What follows while would be a condition, just like the if statements we saw. We'll say num less than or equals to 10 and a colon. Again, remember from the if else statements, a colon defines the start of the block. So this is the while block, and the indentation is also very important to specify that block. I'll just print num, and then I do want to add one to number after I print it, right? Let's run it and then we can kind of dive deeper into what happened. So I got 1 to 10 displayed. So we're checking num less than or equals to 10. Is 1 less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is. It's true. So as long as the condition is true, this statement will keep on executing. So 1 is less than 10. Yes, we printed 1, which is right here. And then we're adding 1 to number. So number is now 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 10? Yes. So we execute the statements again. 3, yes. Unto 10. 10 less than or equals to 10? Yes, it is. So we display 10. And then we added 1 here. Now, is 11 less than or equal to 10? No, the condition is false. So when the condition is false, that's when this whole while loop stops executing, and then the program will move on. And that's basically what happened here. Now, as we were saying earlier, if I want to display 1 to 100, all I have to change is that 10 to 100, and I can run it again using F7. So I've got 1 to 100 displayed. So as you can agree with me, this is a more elegant way of doing it than typing 100 print statements. So that's a basic example of a while loop, right? I'm going to change this back to 10. Let's see a little more involved example than just displaying numbers, right? Let's say I have a list. List 1 equals 10, 20, 30, and 40. So I have 4 numbers stored in this list that has all integers, right? List 1. Just list 1. So let's say I want to display everything in the list. How can I do it? We can call something like an index, right? I is an index, starts at a 0, because remember the index of a list always starts at 0, right? That's the 0 position. And we can do while I less than len of list 1 colon, because len is a function that will return the length of a list. the length of the list is 4, and the positions are 0, 1, 2, and 3, which is why you want to do less than. You cannot do a less than or equals because the len is 4, but the position runs only from 0 to 3. You cannot do a less than or equals. That will give you an error. And all I need to do is print list1 open square bracket I, and then I have to do I plus equals 1. That's it. So if I run this, so I got the 1 to 10 displayed, which is this example. I'm just going to add something to separate them out. So I'm just going to display like this just to separate the two outputs out so it's easy for us to see, and run it again. So ignore this because this is the example that we already saw, but now we have 10, 20, 30, and 40, the numbers that are stored in list 1 displayed. So just to quickly run through what happened, we define an index 0, and we're saying as long as the index is less than the length of the list, keep executing this while loop statements. We're printing list 1 of 0, which is 10, and then the index I becomes 1. 0 plus 1 equals 1, and then is 1 less than 4, which is the length of the list? Yes. So we're displaying 2, and then position 1, 20, position 2, 30, and position 3, 40. And then when I becomes 5, 5 is no longer less than the length of the list, which is 4, then the loop stops executing. This is how you can use a while loop to run through a list and display, or do some other operations, or display numbers. This is a more, like I said, an elegant way of coding this than typing the same statements repeatedly. And as I said before, loops are very handy in programming. You would almost see at least some type of loop in any serious Python program. So you need to be very comfortable with using loops, understanding when to use them and how to use them. In this video, we looked at the while loop. In the next video, we're going to look at the for loop, which basically does the same thing. It's just the syntax is a little bit different, and it's just used for some other different purposes when you're running through a list. But from a loop perspective, both while and for does the same thing. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.